Today we are going to plant up 2 Hypertufa bowls with Elfin Thyme. This is a beautiful, really matted thyme that I only found a few times, and this particular season I found it at Grandma's Gardens and found it on a 15% off day, so I am so anxious to get this planted. Now I've got 2 bowls ready that had been previously planted, so they are pretty well hydrated because they've had something in them, but I've dumped them to put the thyme in there. And Elfin Thyme, these gigantic pots of it were $19.99. It was labeled Mother of Thyme, but labeled Elfin, because unless you find that word Elfin, it's not that real particular little hard matted surface that I want. So I bought these. With them being 25% off, they ended up being $15. Of course I bought 2. So I've got my soil all mixed up. I use the potting soil and then mix a lot of chicken grit in it because chicken grit works the best for me. Now my pots are not deep enough to allow that particular amount of soil underneath. So what I am doing is taking the bottom portion of it off. Now once I picked it up, I'd put it face down into the soil. It's got a lot of dirt that's going to have to be brushed off. But the chicken grit will make it well draining because this is a type of plant that does like the dry soil, well-drained soil, but you do have to water it occasionally. If it can go into the ground, it can go into the ground, and then you just water it occasionally with everything else. Sun makes more flowers for it, but it can go in a partial shade. It just won't flower as much. And when it does flower, it's so pretty with little pinkish lavender blooms on this particular one. I just love it, so I do want it to flower. So I'll be having it out in the open. So now the Hypertufa that I make is very porous. These little roots will grab into this particular bowl. Plus when it tries to grow down the side, the little tendrils that grow out and that will extend little roots will grow into the bowl. So here's my second bowl, and I'm doing the second pot that I got. This was one that I've glued together and patched before, but the patching was about 4, maybe 5 years ago. Still holding steady and strong for me, no problem. Now this one I'm not going to face plant down into the soil. I'm going to try to be good. In hindsight, I think I should have brought a knife out and just kind of sawed it off instead of pulling at it like I'm doing right now, because I think it would have fit better if I had done that and maybe not disrupted the roots so much. But I'm one of those people who really claws at the roots when I plant something, and I've not found it to hurt anything. Now I do have holes drilled in my Hypertufa, have a little piece of screen or landscape fabric put over that hole just to keep the soil from washing out. But I'm just going to go around the outside and fill the edges, because it's really only the edges that need the soil crammed into it. But the Elfin Thyme, sometimes you see it in other names, it'll say creeping thyme, but unless it has that word elfin in it, it's not going to be this little hard matted tiny hairy leaf that is my favorite one. Now I have another one that is, I don't know if it's basic creeping thyme or whatever that is, but it doesn't have quite the same little rounded leaf. It has more of a pointy leaf, and it is tiny too, but not as tiny and matted as this Elfin Thyme is. I used to have that in my big Hypertufa pot that I lost when I moved away from that one address, so I really, really miss it. So there's one of my other ones with the mini hostas in them. They have bloom. They look real pretty. I am assuming a squirrel got on the top of mine and bit the top off. So if I'm pulling a few little bits off of the thyme off the edge, and I'm going to plant in here to see if I can get it to grow in here. If not, I may root those. Excuse me. I may root those in something else and get them started over again. But this is one of my favorite plants for Hypertufa because it just looks so cute and is so matted and perfect to cascade and tumble over the sides. That's what this looks like. I just crumbled it a little bit full of the soil. That's one of the cherry zingers, lime zingers, one of those plants that's in here. But it's such a pretty color and goes with the hosta. But that's what the more pointy-leafed one looks like. Maybe that's just basic creeping thyme, but it's this Elfin Thyme that I love. So, I will see you on my next video, and be sure to visit the website because I have lots more information on the website. And thanks a lot for watching.